Hey there Tesla fans, Aaron here from Rats Tesla, and today's video is a simple one. There are so many people now that are getting ready to take delivery of their Model Ys, or any Tesla for that fact, that I wanted to just kind of set out today. I know I've had my car for a little over a year. I've done my 1 year review video, and I'll tell you what, I love this car, but if you want to watch that video, I'll put a link up above. But what I want to talk about today is what to look for and what to prepare for when you pick up your Tesla Model Y. We'll throw in a couple items that I think you need to make sure that you have done at your house and what you need to look for on delivery day. I will try to scour the internet and find as many delivery checklists as I can and put links to them down below. But you need to have delivery checklist in mind when it comes to picking up your Tesla Model Y or any Tesla for that fact, because there's just things that you need to look at. And I will tell you that you're going to find some stuff, not to stress out about it unless it's something super major. I wouldn't stress out about it. Tesla's going to take care of things. Tesla's going to fix things. But I want to give you information on what you need to look for. So sit back, relax, and let's check this out. Thanks for watching Rats Tesla. Drive Eyewear. It's a sunglass company that is Tesla inspired eyewear. They have 4 different styles of glasses. They have Giga, Terra, Lith, and May after Elon's mom's name. You can get each one of those in different colors with different lenses from mirrored to regular. They also have prescription lenses now, and you can order that by going to driveeyewear.com. Really great glasses. I have a pair. I love them. I have the Lith and I have the Gigas on the way. They're super comfortable. They're all metal. They're lightweight. They're unisex, and they are super comfortable. And they run anywhere from about $115 to $195 for the non-prescription pair of glasses. But I tell you, go check them out today, and make sure you use the discount code RATSTESLA at checkout. That'll save you 10% on your sunglasses. And these are top-notch sunglasses. I keep these in my car, and that's why I've bought a second pair, so that I can have a pair that I don't wear, that I wear outside of my car, and a pair that I leave in my car, because here in northern Colorado we get a ton of sun and I wear my sunglasses a lot. So make sure you check out the 4 different styles of sunglasses at driveeyewear.com and use Rats Tesla at checkout. So before you bring your car home, obviously the big thing that you need to worry about is, how are you going to charge your car? In my case, I decided to put in a NEMA 1450 plug, and I have the adapter here. I can unplug it. There's the plug itself, and it runs to its circuit outside on my board. I have a 50 amp circuit. I plug in my NEMA 1450, and then I'm using the mobile charger for my charging needs here at home. For what I need, it works perfectly. I don't have any issues with it, and it's able to give me the charge that I need. The one downside for this is if I'm traveling, if I'm taking a road trip, I need to collect this stuff, take my mobile charger, take the cord and everything, put it in the bag and take it with me. Not a big deal for me, but I would, before you bring your car home, make sure you have some sort of charging ability set up at your home, if possible. If not, know and understand where the closest supercharger or maybe a destination charger is where you can charge your car, and figure that all out. Now I just want to kind of walk through with the Tesla on things that you should look for. There's certain areas of the car that have some known issues, and I'm going to put issues in air quotes, because all of them, well, I shouldn't say all of them, most of them are pretty easily fixable by a technician, either when you get the car or when you get the car home. But keep in mind, when you're picking up your Tesla on delivery day, you have 24 hours, 100 miles to put in your service ticket for things that need to be repaired from delivery. So you need to do this pretty quickly after you take delivery. If you wait a week and put in that service ticket, they may or may not fix them for you without giving you a hassle trying to make you pay for them, whatever. But it's going to be a lot harder to get them fixed than if you do that service ticket, that first service ticket right away. I did mine while I was sitting in the parking lot at the Tesla service center, and some of you may not have that opportunity. Some of you that may take a little bit longer, but let's dive into some of the areas that you really need to look at. The first thing you need to do is you really need to go through the exterior of the car and just give it a once over and look at the quality of the paint. I will tell you that my car is extremely dirty. It's been driven on the highway a couple times. It sat at the airport for a week. So I can't really look at paint quality. But there's things and places that you want to look at. You really want to look at the paint quality on the hood. Look for scratches in this front part, and really look for scratches on the front bumper. And then when you get to the sides, you really want to look at this plastic and make sure that it's put on there properly, and make sure that it's not letting loose or anything like that. You also want to look at your cameras. Make sure that your cameras are pressed in there good. There will be a little bit of wiggle room, but you want to make sure that they're in there solid. Then as you come down along the side of the car, mine did not come with PPF, but some of them now are coming with a PPF on the side here. You want to check for that to see if that's there. If it's not, I highly recommend, if you're not going to PPF the whole car, I highly recommend PPFing around this rear area. And if you hear that stupid cricket, I apologize. I've looked for it, I can't find it. Obviously my garage is the perfect temperature. Again, then you want to look for paint and plastic issues around this rear door and across the rear of the car, the rear bumper. My car, when I picked it up, I had a pretty significant paint chip right here, and they actually sent it off to a painter and had this whole rear bumper primed down. Well, actually I shouldn't say the whole rear bumper, basically a big patch painted, sanded down, painted, everything clear coated and fixed, and it looks perfect. You can't even tell. And then you're going to do the same thing down the driver's side. Then one of the big things that you need to look for is panel gaps and alignment issues. Now if you look at my car, if you look at the hood, and you'll see my finger here, I'll try and show you, we're about a half a finger gap there, and we're about the same on the other side in the same location. Now my hood, I've adjusted it because I put the power frunk on it from Hansshow. So I've done some modifications and changed that up a little bit, but you want to look at that. You want to look at this little gap on your headlight area here. What you're looking for is for areas that aren't too tight against one another, because you don't want to cause a friction area. And so you want to look at all these little gap areas to make sure that they just look clean, that they're not pressed tight against each other as you go to the other side as well. And just kind of looking at these. Look at the one on the A pillar, make sure that they look good down both sides. And then look at this door gap. Make sure that it looks okay, that it's not way out of gap. And I like to compare, even though you can't see both sides at the same time, just kind of compare them, and you can see that mine are very similar. The other area, the big area, is this alignment area right here. You can see where the black goes across. My finger goes across nice and neat. It's aligned really well on this side. On the rear one, it's aligned as well. My rear doors, the gap is a little bit bigger on the rear doors, but when I put that in, they told me it was within Tesla specs, so we had to leave it. This one's lined up well. Then you want to look at this gap up top here. This is a very important gap, because this gap is one that you have to deal with if when your trunk lid opens. This gap will be important. Come down your gaps along the side of your trunk lid, and then around the brake lights is very important, especially this one in here. You see mine has a little bit of a gap, but it's not too bad. It's not anything that I was worried about. It hasn't leaked water. And then you're going to do the same thing on the driver's side. Mine both match up. Mine both look the same. We're going to go back up the trunk lid. My gap is very decent there. And then we line up here and everything looks good. Now on my on my driver's side, my gap here, my alignment is good. When we come down the side, this one is very good. Now the one thing that they didn't tell me to check, and I like to do this with the door open, is how easy the door closes. Now I can take my door and just kind of get it past this point where it locks and get it to close, and it'll close itself all the way. You want to make sure that all of your doors do that. So open them to the point where they kind of lock open, and then just push them past that lock open point and let them close, and make sure that they close solid and all the way. And I go through and did that on all 4 of my doors. Again, take it to that point where it kind of locks open and stays open. Use one finger and just kind of push it past that, and then let it close. See how that one had a little stutter in there, but it still closed all the way. The door closed all the way, and the window rolled up. And we'll do it on the last door here just to show you one more time. So it's at the press open point, and now we'll get it to close. And it goes all by itself and closes nice and firmly all the way. That kind of gets you through your outside. Now you're going to want to check your rims and tires and make sure that they look good. Mine are aftermarket, so we're not going to go through that, but you want to look at them, make sure there's no scuffs. Basically what you're looking for is you're looking for issues that you are not going to be able to live with down the stretch. With the Model Y Performance, you want to check your spoiler to make sure it's mounted right. Now mine's an aftermarket spoiler, but this point right here and the same point on the other side seem to be problem areas where this will pop off and let loose. So you need to look at that and make sure that your spoiler is mounted solid and looks good. And that's the exterior of the car. That's really what you're looking for on the exterior, is just kind of those points that would bother you or that would cause issues down the stretch. You want to look at your headlights. You want to look to make sure that they're not scratched, there's no gouges in the plastic, and everything looks okay. You want to check your windshield wipers. The other thing that I would do, we'll talk about it here, well, we'll talk about it now with your windshield wipers, is I would get in, and even though your car might be clean, is I would pull on the windshield washer and see if it sprays windshield washer fluid. There's been a lot of cars that have left the lot and haven't had windshield washer fluid on them, and down the road the driver, the new owner, needs it and it's not there. Not really a big deal. I mean, it's $3 to do it, so if they don't put it in there, not really a big deal. Now moving to the interior is a little bit different, and I do have a lot of modifications done on my interior. Make sure you watch my past videos if you want to see those. But the things to look for in the interior is really look at the door panels. I looked and made sure that my door panels were put on good, that there were no gaps in there. Check this weather stripping all the way around the top to bottom, make sure it's good. And then you want to check this lip here and make sure that this weather stripping is good all the way down and around. This is what your door is going to close on, and this is what's going to help your road noise. So you really want to check it down here at the bottom, make sure it's put on there solid. Look at the plastic. And then when you get to the seats, you really want to dive into looking at the white seats. You're looking for cuts and creases that don't necessarily belong there. Again, my car is dirty, so you can see some dirt in it, but you really want to look at the stitching to make sure that the stitching is done right. in all the stitching areas, I kind of peeled it open and just looked to make sure that there wasn't any stitching that was let loose on the seats. Do that on the bottoms and the top. And then go through the back seat and do the same thing. Look at this plastic around the door. Make sure it lines up good here. Look at the plastic here. Again, look at the door panel. Make sure the door panel is put in there good and that the weather stripping doesn't have any cracks in it. And then check the rear seat the same way that you checked the front seat. Then the last two things that you want to check are your power trunk and your frunk. When you get to the power trunk, you want to open it up. Make sure that you don't have any alignment issues. I have one little spot here that kind of sticks out a little bit. Wasn't something I was going to press them on. Wasn't too worried about it. And then on the rear, actually that I did, that little gouge there. You just want to kind of go through and make sure everything lines up right and presses in place right. You can see here, I have a spot where it's a little loose. That's probably done by me because I've done some modifications, but you want to look at that. And then you want to look at how does this line up? This weather stripping around here, is it good? And now you're going to see an issue here, and you want to look for this gap between the weather stripping and this headliner, and you can see mine, and a lot of that is caused by me. I've actually taken this out, so I didn't get it back in there right, but I have seen where this was an issue from the factory, and so you need to have the service center fix that and have them fix this gap. I just need to go back in and replace a clip, and I can fix it myself. I did this to my car doing some of the modifications. And again, you want to make sure that your trunk is put together well. All this plastic is lined up. You'll see mine is letting loose. Again, I did that myself. I have a clip that I broke that I need to get my little clip pack out and fix. And then lastly, you want to make sure when you hit the button that your trunk closes nice and it lines up well and it seals up well as well, and it does not pull open. And then going around the front, you're going to want to open up your frunk. Now again, I have the power frunk on mine. You won't have this on yours, but I have the power frunk on mine. So you want to open up your frunk, open it up, make sure it opens up all the way. And then you want to make sure that it all the plastic looks good, that it's all clipped in place, that it looks good around the front edge. And then you want to make sure, I have some Coke spill in here. Need to clean that up. You want to make sure that you have your little toe ring in here. There has been people that have gotten home and noticed that they did not have this, so you want to make sure that that's in there. You could need that down the road if you do have to tow your car. And then you're going to want to close your frunk to make sure, check this light, make sure this light works, but close the frunk to make sure that it closes and clips solid. Now, again, I have the power frunk on there from Hansshow. You're not going to have this. You're going to have to get it down and push it into place and close it and make sure it all lines up correctly. And then again, back in on the inside, you're going to want to check for gap issues, alignment issues around the sides here. This is pretty common, but it doesn't really matter because when the door closes, you can't see it. You're going to want to look over all this material underneath here, make sure there's no gouges, scratches, or anything. Again, the glove box, make sure there's no gouges and scratches along your dash, no gouges and scratches. And then one issue I've seen, and I'm going to go grab my steering wheel here. One issue that I've seen a lot of people notice is around the edges here on the steering wheel, on the back side, that this stitching is loose and it looks bad or it feels bad. So you want to check the stitching all the way around the steering wheel. There's many pressure points in here that you want to make sure that you're checking the stitching on. And then you want to check and make sure that this plastic piece is in there good, that your wheels turn and do the functionality that they need to do. And the last thing I would do is check your screen. Make sure that there's no scratches or gouges in the screen itself, and that when you press on it, it's responsive and it does everything that you want it to do. and then set up your settings the way you want them. I will have a video in the future where I talk about what settings I think you should set up and set to what, just for convenience and safety sake. But we'll have that video in the future. But you're going to want to walk through and just make sure that you can connect everything, that your phone hooks up as a key, that the screen is responsive, that the GPS is updating. You're going to want to look to make sure that you have premium connectivity, meaning you see LTE up top there. Keep in mind that that may not necessarily show up right away. That could take a little bit to show up based on when you pick up your car, where you pick up your car. It could just take a little bit of time. But just kind of give the screen a once over. Go through, especially if this is your first Tesla, go through each one of these areas and make sure you understand what's in them, what those settings are. Make sure your phones are all set up as a key. Just go through and check it out. Then go to the service tab and kind of understand that that's where you're going to see your tire PSI. Now there is an update coming up where this will be filled in with the last known. Right now, if you don't have that new update, it will show you it will show you 2 dashes unless you're driving, and then it'll give you a PSI. So just go through everything and understand where it's at, and know that this service tab where we're at now, so we got here by hitting the little car button in the bottom. So we hit that car button, it brings open this screen. We go to service. This right here, your owner's manual, is very, very important for you to know how to get to, so that if you have any questions on how to use your car, this owner's manual is right here. You can see, you can click on owner's manual, opening and closing the doors, and it'll show you how to open the doors using the exterior doors. It gives you a little demo there. So this is a very good place to know and understand where it is in your car. And the cool thing is this is set up with all these languages. You can change the language to the one that you need to be able to read this owner's manual. And again, very, very good place to go. You're gonna want to know where this is at so that you can learn how to use things on your car. Also use YouTube University, use my videos. I've done a lot of videos on the past, and we will do a video on this in the future on how to use this entire screen. All right, that'll really do it for today's video. Again, I wanted to do a quick video. I know we have a lot of people that watch this channel, that watch YouTube, that go through this process all the time, that are getting ready to pick up their Tesla. So I wanted to kind of just do a quick video, walk through some of the trouble areas. Again, I'm going to have some checklists linked down below of people that have put together pickup day, delivery day checklists so that you can print one out, take it with you, go through it. Tesla's seen this many times. They're not going to give you a hard time if you sit in the parking lot and go through your delivery checklist. Don't feel like you have to be rushed. Don't feel like they're expecting you to take delivery in 5 minutes. If they are, I would slow them down and tell them you're not taking delivery until you're satisfied with the quality of the build of your car. And I believe that they'll understand. They've seen people do this millions of times. So take your time is my biggest and best advice for you. Make sure that you're subscribed to this channel. We've got a lot of stuff coming out. Our next video is probably going to be a walkthrough of that screen and the different options underneath it for new people, so that you understand where to dig in and where to dive in, where to change those settings that you're going to need to change on delivery day. So make sure you subscribed and hit that bell button so you get notified of that next video. As always, if this video was helpful, make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment below. Let me know what kind of videos you want to see in the near future. And thanks for watching Rats Tesla. We'll catch you in the next video.